There is a supernatural world that surrounds us, and sometimes it manifests to people like you and me. You'll hear stories about this and so much more right here on Supernatural Confrontations. I think you'll find today's show very interesting. I've heard stories like this from other people before. So it's not unique in the sense of, oh my gosh, but it is unique because it happened to this person and it saved her from perhaps a fatality. We'll get into that and so much more. But first, a word from our trusted sponsor, BioTrust.
Thick skin is for more than just protecting yourself against hurtful words. It also keeps you looking young. That's because aging can cause our skin to go from thick and supple to thin and less elastic. This decline is aggravated due to the 10% drop in our body's natural collagen production every decade after the age of 20 years old. But folks, it doesn't have to be this way. Help fight wrinkles and sagging skin with multi-collagen. Multi-collagen works by supporting skin texture, hydration, and skin elasticity. It's made with the top 5 critically researched types of collagen that help your skin's natural ability to fight back against wrinkles and sagging skin. Tens of thousands of Americans have turned to it to help deliver nutrients back to their skin. Don't wait. Get a bag now by going to healthwithla.com. That's healthwithla.com, or simply click the link in the description box below. Not only will you save 51% during their winter special, but you'll also receive several free bonuses to help you get started on the path to taking full control of your health for the new year, 2023. The best part is you have 60 days, money back guarantee. Click the link and thank me later. All right, folks, Happy New Year. Please go to healthwithla.com. That's healthwithla.com.
The supernatural world is real, and sometimes it does manifest, and in this case, it certainly manifested in a way that's extremely dramatic. Had Karen stepped on the gas pedal, and you can hear it from her testimony, her foot is hovering right over the gas pedal. She's ready to do this, and all of a sudden, this voice says, basically stop. Here's her testimony. I'll weigh in on the other side. So Karen, first of all, thanks so much for coming on the record on Supernatural Confrontations. I love this show because it gives just people, not that people are ordinary, but it just gives people a platform, some place to come and share. And then that goes out and it encourages other people to share because stuff is happening. We do live in a supernatural world. So you had an angelic warning. Tell us about that, please.
Yes, I did. It was a typical day, and my husband's aunt and uncle were having some health issues. So I decided to go to their home in Ontario, California, and to visit them and to bring some refreshments. So I was on my way to the city of Ontario, approaching Euclid Avenue, which is a main thoroughfare in Ontario. And it has 2 lanes going northbound, 2 lanes going southbound, and there's a grassy middle area lined with trees, and there's 2 crossroads, 2 lanes going eastbound, 2 lanes going westbound. So I crossed the first southbound lanes, and I was in the center divider going eastbound. And I had to stop. I was stopped at a red light, and the light turned green, and I raised my foot. It was midair, ready to put it down on the accelerator pedal, when all of a sudden I heard a voice in my head. And as best I can describe it, it was a male voice, and it was inside my head. I didn't hear it verbally, inside my head. And it asked me a question, and I'll never forget the question. It was very simplistic. It was direct and to the point. And it said, "You always look both ways before you cross an intersection, don't you?" And I thought, yeah, I do. I always look both ways. I think I do. So I turned my head to look to the left, which was northbound, which in hindsight didn't make any sense because all the traffic at that junction was going northbound. But then I turned to the right, and by then my light was very green. And in fact, it was so green that I was worried that maybe somebody was behind me and they'd start honking me, getting impatient. But there was a car next to me going going eastbound as well. So I turned to the right and I saw this car just going so fast. And what happened, it was probably less than a quarter mile away. I could see it. It was going so fast. And so I stopped everything that I was doing. And I know this sounds crazy, but I actually saw it was a male driving. I saw his face in a split second. It was very angry. It was very upset, but it went right through, accelerated right through the intersection. So as it turns out, the lady that was next to me, she didn't move either, which I thought maybe she got a warning too, because the light for us was very over green. And of course it was totally red. And that instant, I knew why I had heard that warning. And so I was really a bit overcome. I crossed the street, I pulled to the curb, because I knew, and I really felt that I would have been sandwiched between the lady on my left and the car that was accelerating. And I know I would have been injured or worse. And to be honest, I really felt that God stepped in. He had an angel come to me and he spared my life. I mean, I really do, very sincerely. So I paused, I prayed, I thanked the Lord. And here I am today doing things for the Lord and, ministering in special ways. And I feel that the Lord spared my life to have me do his purposes.
Thank you so much for sharing that. I've heard similar stories like this. I mean, you're not alone in this type of a thing. People have had warnings, what I would call angelic warnings, people with a very simple, poignant question. Don't you look both ways? I mean, it's like out of all the things that you could hear, that's what you hear, which to me is just sort of the fingerprints of a supernatural. It's sort of, the Lord sending an angelic, being one of his messengers to, sort of stop stop what could have been, very fateful for everybody. I mean, it just, how fast you think the car was going?
The speed limit was 35 miles then, and I really believe it was going 80 miles an hour or more. Honestly, it was really, really fast.
And so he went through a red light.
He totally went through a red light. He accelerated right through it. I mean, it was so red for him. It was ridiculous. I mean,
Right.
Nobody would have thought
Right.
that would have been, red that long and he would still go right through the intersection. He accelerated right through.
Wow.
And what was interesting to me is that my foot was raised midair to
Right.
go down on the, so it was a split second before I was going to do that I heard that voice. And then it was so succinct and so direct. And then I knew that I was reacting to it because I'm like, oh, I always look both ways, don't I? And I think I do. So then I did look both ways. And that time the car went through the intersection. So it was really timed exact.
I mean, if it had been, 30 seconds later, that would have been it. I mean, you
Yes.
most likely would have had a horrible collision. I just love when, what I love about stories like this is it builds up our faith. I mean, it builds my faith. And I know the people who are watching this, it's going to build their faith because all of a
Yes.
sudden they realize, this isn't, the Bible isn't a closed book. It's open. It's alive. It's here. Angels do minister to us. The supernatural does happen. God steps into our world and things change and change radically. I'll give you the last word, Karen. Thanks so much for coming on the record. Really appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. I mean, I know the verse, Ephesians 6, 7 through, I think 10 through 17, put on the armor of God. And of course that talks about the spiritual warfare that's going on too. But I really think it's important that we do that every day. And I do know that we're in the times that are in the end. And so I think everybody should get in the storehouse and be ready because there's such an acceleration of prophecy. And if anyone reads their Bible, they're going to know that these things are actually taking place right before our eyes right now.
I couldn't agree with you more. It's unbelievable. This whole thing, I like the word you used, accelerating. It is accelerating. It really is. So maybe we'll hear that trumpet call sooner than later.
Love that. I would love that sooner than later.
Karen, thanks so much for coming on the record. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure. It was nice to talk with you, LA. Take care.
So there you have it, folks. You know, the angels do watch over us. They are messengers. They are assigned to us. I believe that with all my heart. You've heard some of my testimonies with angelic counters here, but Karen's testimony is just amazing because, like I said earlier, foot is all ready to step on the gas, and all of a sudden, you know, the voice comes in, look both ways. Do you look both ways? Well, of course I look both ways. And all of a sudden, this car is barreling down, you know, through the intersection, right through the red light, So there you go. And you know what? It's, wow. And I believe that saved her life. So thanks so much for watching and coming on the record. Please hit the subscribe button right below. We'll be back tomorrow with a very interesting On the Trail of the Nephilim. It is a report on America's Stonehenge. I think you'll find this very interesting. It's in the Epoch Times. I will tear this article apart. It is absolute balderdash, in my opinion. Thanks so much for watching, folks. Please hit the subscribe button. Remember, there is a supernatural world, and sometimes it manifests to people like you and me. Thanks for watching.
Something very dark and disturbing is happening. It is a global phenomenon that knows no boundaries and adheres to no cultural mores. And the ones who are engaged in this nefarious activity do so with impunity. People are being taken against their will. In the cover of darkness, in the dead of night, they are subjected to bizarre examinations that are often sexual in nature. These people are terrified, violated, confused, and with no place to turn to, as who would believe them? This is their story.